Hi, I'm Veetika and I'm the Senior Product Designer for Verify CI. And today I wanted to share a little about an ongoing side effort which is going on in the continuous integration group to polish the documented jobs to be done that we have for our stage group here on the handbook page. And I would talk a little about the process that we are following and what is it that we are planning to achieve using this process. All right. In my recent videos, I talked about the ongoing research activities for CI, which are the CMS scorecard research for CI to evaluate the maturity level. And the other one was kind of a solution validation exercise that we did to validate the proposal that we have for the pipeline overview page and how users would, the experience that we want to provide our users around debugging and analyzing a running pipeline. And this is kind of what you see in front of you is kind of a byproduct of the same set of efforts. So besides using the data from those researches for the purpose that they were intended to, this is something that we are maintaining on the side. And we don't only have information from those two researchers in here, but from different researches that we keep on conducting otherwise for the stage group. So here what we did was we have information tagged from those projects, which also show up here on this board. Like we are using this set of boards as a general tags for CI. So like you can see, we have some newly identified jobs to be done from those research data. I mean, these are not, of course, not validated, not even evaluated. We haven't included them in our formal set of JTBDs, but this is something definitely we would really want to look into. So, and we definitely received a lot of different, a lot of new information that we can use, that we can put to use while thinking of how to improve our listed and documented JTBDs for CI. So the next thing that I started to do was I started out mapping the JTBDs for CI, and I used the mural template that was available for this purpose. So I would very quickly go through the different sections in this mapping. So I started off by listing the core functional jobs. So this is after having spoken to so many users as a part of the process while conducting researches, I kind of had a decent idea about what is it that users are looking to achieve when they are using GitLab CI. So these are the three different sections that kind of stood out to me. And I would definitely love some help from the team to polish them out. If they feel that something has been wrongly documented, I would definitely love to get some help there and some guidance as well. So three main purpose or main set of functional jobs that I felt were kind of standing out were standardized tests, build, deploy process across organization. Second one is maintain a healthy main branch. And the third one was allow for easy contribution. All right, so I tried consolidating, and this might not have come across as well as I intended to, but there's always a room for improvement, so I would just go ahead and talk it out aloud. So if I have to crunch all of those things that I just spoke about, I mean the set of core functional jobs into this one statement, I would say the main purpose that we have is to standardize and automate tests, build and deploy process across organization to allow easy contribution while keeping the main clean. So it's kind of an amalgamation of everything that was mentioned there. The next part was to zero down on the job executor. So I feel that the three core job executors are the DevOps engineers, software engineers in testing, then software engineers in general. And right next to them could be system administrators, compliance manager, release manager, development team leads, and I just wanted to mention that these are the personas that we have listed in the handbook for GitLab. And towards the periphery, I mean, I wouldn't say that they have very less to do, but maybe lesser than the second level to do with the GitLab CI area are the technical writers, designers, and product managers. Then coming to this stage that where we have to map the jobs, right? So the first thing that I did was I had split this into 8 categories. I split the whole set of functionalities within GitLab CI. in 8 different categories. And it started off with define, locate, prepare, confirm, execute, monitor, modify, conclude. Now, even though I have kind of information for each of these categories down here, like how at different stage of execution, not execution, at different stage of interacting with GitLab CI, what are the key things, like key functional jobs which are in the picture, then the associated social and emotional information there. But for the next step, I tried to only focus on the JTBDs that closely associated with CI, because as we know that CI itself is kind of split into 2 parts. One is CI and the other one is pipeline authoring team. And the few of the sections here, they relate more to the working of the pipeline authoring team than CI. So what I did was I just put a tag here to like more overtly indicate that these are the sections that we would be looking at for CI, and we wouldn't be focusing much on the neighboring ones, even though it's really good to have a context and have a bigger picture in mind. So we can start off with the prepare, which is, so in this section, what users are mostly thinking about is how they could use the pipeline which is already in place in the project. So how they can use it in their workflows, and that kind of gets translated into a JTBD. The next one that we're concerned about is the execution stage, and this is definitely a very important part. So this is where users get to run the pipeline which is provided or associated with the project. So I just kind of try to cover all the different concerns that they have in mind, all the different core functional jobs that they have in mind when they are looking at using that or triggering that pipeline. The next one is monitoring. Monitoring is more or less like analyzing a running pipeline. So why is it that they really want to do it? Is kind of explained, not explained, I would say, just documented here. Then the last part, so next comes modify. Modify, again, it falls into the optimization part. If we talk about the 4 sections in the overall interaction with GitLab CI, which is divided into define, run, analyze, optimize. So run and optimize, define and optimize is, it falls more in the area of pipeline authoring. So this is something, again, that would concern the pipeline authoring team more. So I happen to skip this here. Then conclude. For the conclude, my interpretation of conclude was that users wait for a final indication, right? Like after the pipeline is through, they mostly use the pipeline just to like get an indication that they're good to go. They're good to merge their changes to the main branch. So that's something that we're looking at in this last section here. And the last part in my exercise was to prioritize. So these are the ones that have been identified from this process, the JTBDs identified from this process. And if we have to prioritize them, what would fall under which area? So in the most satisfied, we have when creating a pipeline for the repository, I want to ensure that it is accessible to the team. And we recently conducted a CMS research and figured that this one, as well as this particular JTBD, which says using automated tasks for testing, building, and deploying for my code, I'm going to keep informed of the progress. So these two seemed kind of like participants were mostly satisfied with how, with the kind of information they found for these scenarios. So I have put them in most satisfied. But otherwise, we have these this bunch that we can still look at, we can still work on, and also include in the final JTBD documentation that we have for CI. And that's pretty much all. I know this was a lot, but still I would love to hear some inputs around this, as well as some contribution in the process. Thank you so much.